Good afternoon, Niner fans. How are we feeling? How are we doing? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up with it? It's what day is today? Thursday? Thursday afternoon. We got some draft content to talk about. There's not a lot going on, but we'll talk about the updated 30 visits that the 49ers have had. They've had a few here and there during the week. A couple of days ago, we updated when Walter Nolan was reportedly having a top 30 visit. So there's a couple more that came out today. There's a little bit more news that we'll, discuss here and there. Again, nothing groundbreaking, nothing crazy, but there's some decent news. And over on the Instagram page, we've been doing the countdown to the draft. I've been trying to post like some of the best moments during 49ers draft history. There's some really good ones, some bad ones. Today we posted Jerry Rice. That was an all-time moment. I don't know if you guys have seen the story or the 30 for 30, but it was close. 49ers almost didn't get him. There's other receivers in that draft. The 49ers, they took Jerry Rice with the number 16 pick that year, and obviously the rest is history. But we're this close on not getting him. A lot of cool draft stories over the years. Like George Kittle was almost drafted by the Seahawks, So great, crazy stuff when you think about the draft and how 49ers almost didn't draft certain players. Every team almost didn't draft certain players, but it is what it is. What's going on? Let's talk about the draft. We got 14 days until the draft, says Debtopia. What's up, Renee? We need Nolan, says Noah. I like Nolan. Peter Parker says, what's up? He's doing laundry. Got to get that laundry done. I do mine on the weekend most of the time, but sometimes you got to do it on the weekdays. It is what it is. I hate being an adult sometimes because of those types of tasks. Laundry and just adult. Sometimes that kind of stuff is just so annoying. But hey, talk about the NFL draft, shall we? Today, the 49ers had a couple of top 30 updates that we'll go over, and let's get to it. So first and foremost, the 49ers this morning, according to Ian Rappaport, have scheduled a top 30 or 30 visit with Texas A&M edge Shemar Stewart. This guy's combine, was great. He had a amazing combine. Like, he didn't put in the amount of production everybody's expecting him to get at the NFL level in college, but he's got talent. Like, he's a really, really, really explosive edge rusher. They're comparing him to Myles Garrett. I really like the guy, but was his combine a mirage? Will he be able to translate to the NFL? There's a mixed bag. I mean, he is a really good candidate to be drafted in the first round, but is he good enough to be number 11? Is it a reach? That's what a lot of people will say, that he is a reach. A really good player, man. He is a combine hero, though. And sometimes those combine warriors or combine heroes, that's it. They know this is their chance to shoot up the draft board. So they put everything into the combine and then get to the NFL. It's not like what you're expecting out of the guy. The production not there. So is he a combine, superstar, or is he going to be a superstar in the next level? It's hard to say, but he does have some really good measurables. He didn't have the production in college, but I think he's a interesting prospect. I think if you throw him on the other side of Nick Bosa, he could be a really good talent, but he also could just be one of those guys that, like we said, could be a combine hero. So keep an eye on that. Shemar Stewart is a guy that they've scheduled to meet with. They're meeting with a lot of defensive linemen. Obviously, the 49ers have a need at defensive line. They're going to get a few defensive linemen. Who is it going to be? That's the question, right? So I don't know. What do you guys think? Shemar Stewart? Are you guys fans of Shemar Stewart? Are you hope they pass on him? What do you guys think? I mean, the 49ers desperately need help at the edge position, like desperately. You have Drake Jackson right now, and he's not guaranteed to even play this year. You have Robert Beal. He hasn't looked good. Maybe he can get that experience this year and be better, but he just hasn't had that yet. He doesn't look really promising. You have Yetur Gross-Matos, who could play outside, but Yetur Gross-Matos was hurt a lot last year, and I don't know if you could count on him. And then you had Sam Okinawa. The guy was really good, in terms of being a depth rusher. He was a situational type guy, but he was a guy that you expect to be in that rotation. But is he going to be a starter? I don't know. I don't know if you're going to get a lot of snaps and make him your primary edge rusher on the opposite side of Nick Bosa. Like, he's good, but is he the number 2 edge rusher on your team? I don't know. I still think you need a guy that's a home run, just nasty edge, just blitzing the quarterback, just coming out there, getting some pressure. I really like Sam O, but is he good enough to be, that number 2 guy outside of Nick Bosa? If Nick Bosa is getting double and triple, is Sam O going to be good enough to be that other force on the opposite side. Again, he's a really good rotational player, and I think he's a good depth piece, but I don't think he's an elite edge rusher. He's not an elite pass rusher, but a good one. We need an elite guy. So Noah says he could be like Solomon or Kinlaw. Yeah. The thing with Shamar is it's kind of like he's all of a sudden coming on now. It's like, oh, wow, where was this in college? He might just be a riser at the combine. But again, he could be a very talented player. So it's a hard position when you have a guy like this that's rising in the combine. You're like, oh, my God, he looks so amazing. He looks like a talented prospect. And then you get him, and then he's not going to be able to put production because the 49ers cannot afford to get a guy like Kinlaw or Solomon Tars. Like, you cannot get a guy that's not going to give you production and is just bad, and he's just a waste of a draft pick. Now, I don't know. If they draft him, I'm going to have faith that he can be that guy, but I don't know. It is interesting. Shamar was, again, Shamar Stewart is the guy that the 49ers have scheduled according to Rap Sheet, and we'll see. Another guy that the 49ers have on their radar is Georgia Tech tight end Jackson Haws. He was actually in the facility today. He posted on his social media that, hey, I'm with the 49ers. He posted a picture, and he's having a 30 visit. So the 49ers have had several tight ends on a 30 visit. So you had Jackson Haws. And the thing about him, I looked him up. I was reading about him. He's a blocking tight end. He's not a pass-catching tight end. He's more of a blocking inline blocker. So if they want another blocking tight end, they're going to get Jackson Haws type guy. And, you did get some blocking tight end help this offseason during free agency, but you might need a little bit more, right? You might need a little bit more in terms of what you're trying to do with this offense. So they're going to look at all avenues. They might get 2 tight ends in this draft. He might go undrafted. I don't know. He might go late round, 7th round pick. Right now you have 11 picks, so you got to use them wisely. The 49ers also met with Texas Tech tight end Jalen Conyers, right? This guy is a pretty decent talent. He's probably a late round type of tight end if they're going to look at that option. Tight end has been a position where they always go after, but they just haven't found that guy that can really help George Kittle. They've spent a lot of capital on tight ends over the years. Just they haven't panned out, right? And then the other guy that the 49ers have hosted on a top 30 visit is Bowling Green tight end Harold Fannin Jr. This, to me, is the best tight end prospect they're looking into right now. He's an absolutely fantastic pass catcher. Like he set records last year. He set records for FBS for a tight end. He set records, single season FBS records for receptions and receiving yards. So this is a very talented guy, Harold Fannin. This is a weapon. If you get a guy like Fannin, you could have Kittle and Fannin and run 2 tight end sets and dominate. And again, 49ers are looking for, receiving help with Brandon Ayuk hurt, with Debo out. Fannin could be a guy. Instead of just drafting a receiver, maybe they go and look for it in tight end. And also, one of these days, George Kittle will retire. I mean, not anytime soon, but in 2-3 years, maybe he's done. And in 2 or 3 years, you need the heir apparent. It could be a guy like Harold Fannin. So, again, 49ers have looked into several tight ends, and today they looked at Georgia Tech tight end Jackson Haws. And again, he's more of a blocking tight end. He's not going to be a big pass catcher, but it's interesting. They're going to go and look at tight ends this season. They've been looking at tight ends a lot. That's the one thing that I've noticed through this draft process is the 49ers want to get more tight ends. They're looking for tight end depth, and we'll see how it goes, right? We'll see how tight end situation goes with the 49ers. They did sign Luke Farrell a couple of weeks ago in free agency, but he's more of a blocking tight end himself. So you have Luke Farrell, you have George Kittle. Maybe you get another guy like Jackson Haws, and they can take pressure off of George Kittle, because you got to realize with George Kittle in there and no Debo and no Brandon Ayuk for a while, George Kittle is going to probably need to pass or catch passes a lot more. He needs to be at a higher level. He needs to be a pass catcher. And in order to do that, you can't make him waste his time blocking. So if the more blocking tight ends you have, the more you can utilize George Kittle as a big pass catcher. So we'll see. Let's take a look at some more of these questions. Renee says, anything set in stone with you and Greg Papa? I don't want to miss out that collaboration. Not anytime soon, but I know during the season, people always reach out and we'll do some collabs. So probably look for that kind of stuff when the season gets back. So right now, we're probably not doing anything he's a busy guy, and also he's enjoying the off season. He still does some radio stuff. He does some KNBR things here and there, but for now, nothing set in stone. But if there ever is, we'll definitely let you guys know. Peter Park says, I love Nolan, Mike Green, and Charles Grant. Those are all fantastic picks. I love Mike Green, man. That's a guy that if they get an edge rusher at 11 and Mike Nolan's standing right there, it'd be hard to pass up on. I am very big Mike Green, but he's also a guy that raised his stock in the combine, but he put the production unlike Shamir Stewart. So that's the difference between those guys. They both were risers in the combine, but Mike Green put the production on the field. So Mike Green, good player. Nolan, fantastic. And Charles Grant, another fantastic player. So you can't really go wrong with any of those three players. And it's going to be interesting because the 49ers are going to have a lot of options at that 11th pick. They can trade back, they can trade up, they can take best available. It's going to be interesting. So another guy the 49ers have met with or actually have had a 30 visit with is cornerback from Kansas, Coby Bryant. Coby Bryant, not, rest in peace to the Mamba. It's Coby Bryant. And, when I saw this, I was like, man, he really spells his name different because there's so many ways people spell Kobe. Obviously, I'm sure his parents paid homage to Kobe, but they spell it Cobee. Coby Bryant. I really like this guy. He is a fantastic cornerback out of Kansas. I would love for them to get Coby Bryant. Let me tell you something on this guy. He calls himself the Hawk Mamba. Ball Hawk Mamba, like Coby Bryant. The Hawk Mamba. This guy's a very, very good cornerback. He was a very big time ball hawk. He was a playmaker. He got a lot of interceptions. He's definitely one of the best cornerbacks in the college over the last couple of years. He's definitely one of the best cornerbacks in this draft. I am a big Coby Bryant fan. He's very dynamic. If you look at his stats through the years in Kansas, he put up 128 tackles. He had 35 pass deflections. He had 13 interceptions, and he had 3 forced fumbles. This guy's a dog, man. So Coby Bryant, 100% would be a beautiful pick. So they have a top 30 visit with Coby Bryant. I'm telling you, this is a fantastic player. He was a second team All-American. Just a unbelievable talent. First team All Big 12. This is a sensational cornerback. And if 49ers can get Coby Bryant, man, check it out. Renardo Green, Coby Bryant, and Deommodore Lenoir. Woo! I want it. I need it. I love it. I would love to see it. I would love to see it, man. What's up? What's up, 49ers Red Zone? What's up, Frank Tom Ocean? What's up, Red Zone? Rip Kobe. Noah says, I like Coby Bryant, cornerback from Kansas. Heard he's like Renardo. Yeah, he's very scrappy like Renardo Green. He's very physical, and he's a very tough corner to get separation on. And again, 13 pass deflections in his career at Kansas. That tells you he's got a knack to get to the ball. So yeah, Coby Bryant is a guy that has a 30 visit with the 49ers, and I would love for the 49ers to get him. Not just because of the name. Obviously, Coby Bryant, great name, but this is a very good, talented player. So those are the more updated 30 visits of the 49ers we talked about a few days ago, right? They had Walter Nolan. They also met with Mykel Williams, and they also met with defensive tackle Omar Norman Lott from Tennessee. So they're really looking at defensive linemen. A couple of days ago, we also saw some updates that we haven't talked about, and I'll drop those. I'm sure you've heard about it. I'm sure you've seen the updates. But Ohio State defensive tackle Tyleik Williams, he was also scheduled on a 30 visit. This is according to Jordan Schultz. Big time run stuffing. He's a hog molly up in the interior of the defensive line. So definitely really looking at defensive line. They got him scheduled for 30 visit. They also have Georgia defensive tackle or defensive lineman Tyrion Ingram Dawkins. He's met with the 49ers already on the 30 visit. So another defensive lineman. And then this one right here had people in a tizzy because of his name. So we talked about Coby Bryant, big name, right? People love the name. The 49ers are scheduling a 30 visit with wide receiver from Washington State, Kyle Williams, ladies and gentlemen. He's got a 30 visit schedule with the 49ers. And that name right there, it's like Voldemort. It's like he who should not be named. That's the type of vibe you get when you say the name Kyle Williams with the 49ers. Now, he's not that Kyle Williams, but yesterday it was reported, and I'm sure you guys seen the reports. You've seen my post. You've seen it all over social media that, yeah, Washington State wide receiver has a 30 visit with the 49ers. And a lot of people were like, nope, just because of the name. He's a good receiver. He's very fast. He's very speedy. He's got some good route running ability. He's a very, very good receiver, but his name is Kyle Williams. So if he goes to the 49ers, not a good start with the team. He might need to change his name. Now, fun fact, when I was searching him on Instagram to find some pictures and videos, because I like to post the picture, I like to post the video so you guys get a sense of what he looks like. I was looking at his Instagram and I typed up Kyle Williams. Obviously, you got to type the name in. And I found the actual Kyle Williams. And I found out that Kyle Williams follows me on Instagram. So I was like, should I follow him back? I didn't follow him back, but it's funny. Kyle Williams keeps up with the 49ers. I feel bad for that guy because when it all happened, when it went down, that Giants game, I'm sure this guy had some death threats. I should message him on Instagram and see if we can do an interview. Wouldn't that be one of the most people would go crazy. It would be an opportunity for him to apologize to the Niner fans for what he did. And I don't know if I want to put him back in the spotlight, but yeah, Kyle Williams, wide receiver from Washington State, has a 30 visit with the 49ers. And that one really got a lot of people upset because of the name. And, it's like, it gives you like PTSD. It gives you PTSD. All right. So, his parents got death threats. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that Kyle Williams, when all that was going on, he got death threats. His family got death threats. And Kyle Williams, the new guy, if the 49ers were to get him, fans would probably message him like, don't be that guy. Don't get muff punch. Don't do this. Don't do that. They'd probably be really nasty to him. So I don't know. I don't know if I want him on the team because it's just, again, you are entering this team on a bad note and you haven't even stepped on the field. You haven't played it down, but the name is already putting him in a bad situation. That's just bad. That's just bad. But he's a very talented player. So we will see how it goes. But those are your 30 visits. So the 49ers have had several. We've talked about them all. It's kind of, again, what we talked about the other day is the draft is kind of shaping up. We're kind of getting a sense of who they're going to take, what they're going to do in this draft. So I'm really enjoying what I'm seeing here. I like that the 49ers are looking heavily at defensive line. I haven't seen a lot of offensive line. I don't think I've seen any offensive line prospects reported. I'm sure they've talked and met with many, but these 30 visits, they're not really honing in offensive line. They're really focusing in on defense and also tight end. So that's, to me, positions they're really knowing they have to get. And those are players that they are really making sure they're doing their due diligence with. And it tells me that they're going to really, really try to fix this defensive line. And it makes sense. You got Robert Saleh. He's the new defensive coordinator. He was at the pro day yesterday, at the local pro day. And you saw him and Kyle Shanahan. I'm telling you, I'm sure that Robert Saleh's hands are going to be all over this draft. His fingers are going to be on this draft because they need to fix this defensive line. And I'm telling you, I'm sure that Kyle's like, hey, man, go out there, find who we need, fix this D-line, fix this defense. Because last year it was dog trash. And I'm pretty sure Robert Saleh is doing what he needs to do. Interesting, though, yesterday at the local pro day, there was a solid list of players that were there. Of note, Nick Nash, that's a guy that went to San Jose State. He was there. I'm really hopeful the 49ers can get Nick Nash. Larry Krueger talked to him yesterday, and it's a guy that kind of stands out to me. I watched him a lot here playing for San Jose State, and local guy. I'm a fan. I like the Nick Nash. If they get Nick Nash, would be fine with that. They also had several other players. The Cal linebacker, Teddy Buchanan. I mean, this guy looks like the next Fred Warner. You go get him, and it'd be absolutely amazing to go get him, and he can step in and be the next, guy that could kind of hopefully take that Dre Greenlaw role. Now, I know they also have D Winters in the mix who they're really high on. So those are guys that I feel like the 49ers are looking at, players who can step in and take those roles over players that left. And there's some good players at that local pro day. So interesting. We posted the list of players. You can go look on the Instagram, but Nick Nash is one guy that stood out. And then another guy, 49ers has had an eye on this guy, wide receiver from Stanford, Alec Ayo-Manor. A couple weeks ago at Stanford Pro Day, we know that John Lynch was in the house and he was talking to him, and it's the wide receiver they're looking at. Now, again, yesterday at the local pro day, John Lynch was seen talking to him and maybe scouting him and getting to know him. Alec Ayo-Manor, Stanford wide receiver. I could see the 49ers go and get Alec. They can draft him. John Lynch loves these Stanford guys. He's drafted many Stanford guys before. We all know he's a Stanford guy himself. So I'm sure he would love to bring Stanford alum to the team. Well, we'll see. It's interesting to kind of keep a note of those things. So we'll see. But again, Robert Saleh was there yesterday, and I'm pretty sure he's going to have a lot of input and a lot of say in this upcoming draft class. So we'll see. But that's pretty much it. Nothing crazy. Like I said, I wanted to keep it short, go over a few players that the 49ers have met with or will be meeting with on 30 visits. That's pretty much it. I know there was a couple of things that we may have posted that we haven't talked about, so I wanted to get up to that. One last thing, a note. We posted a few days ago. This news came out. This was according to Matt Mayoko, that the 49ers are rumored to be hosting a game in Mexico City in 2026. I hope they do. I would love to see it. And if they have a game in Mexico City, it would be fantastic. A couple of years back, the 49ers and the Cardinals played in Mexico, and it was a amazing, successful type game. 49ers would be a great team to go back and, have that international game there. But again, it won't be till 2026, according to the rumors. If they are playing there in 2 years, I'll be there. I can't wait, man. That'd be a fun one. So something to kind of keep an eye on for the future. Nothing anytime imminent. Again, it's not in 2025 season, so it would be the following year. Keep an eye on that. That would be something cool. If you don't have a passport, make sure you go get yourself a passport so you can go and watch the 49ers play in Mexico in 2026. So Baby Radiant says, I think we'll be drafting Will Johnson at 11. It's a lot of people's popular pick on their mock drafts. We'll see. Renee says, off topic, do you watch baseball? I'm enjoying baseball myself. I talked about this a couple of days ago with Larry, and I said, I don't watch baseball like I used to when I was younger, this and that. But honestly, I've been watching some baseball lately. It's just because I'm like dying for some sports. I used to love baseball. When they used to do steroids, that was fun, man. Home runs, chick stick, the long ball. And then I kind of lost interest, but I kind of getting back into baseball. Maybe it's because the Giants are playing well, and it's nice to see good sports in the Bay Area, especially when the Niners haven't been good and the Giants themselves haven't been good over the last couple of years. So, yeah, I've been watching baseball a little bit more lately. I'm not like the biggest baseball fan. When I was younger, I used to play fantasy baseball. I was a big baseball nerd, but kind of got away from it as I got older. But, yeah, I've been keeping up with some baseball lately, and I always watch the playoffs, but regular season, I'm not the biggest fan. I'll go to a game here and there, but I'm trying to get back into watching baseball. So it's fun. I played baseball in high school and, Little League and all that stuff. So fun sport. I love baseball. It's just, I don't know. I just got to a point where I couldn't really watch it. I was just like falling asleep when I was watching it. I used to say this, and this can piss baseball fans off, but I used to say, man, if I can't go to sleep, I'll just watch a baseball game. I'll fall asleep real quick, but now I can actually tolerate it. And I don't know. It's just the game changed over the years when they changed the way games were played. Obviously, steroids made things exciting, exhilarating, but I don't know. I feel like I'm back to the point where I can watch a baseball game. Oh yeah, that was entertaining. That was it. So, oh man, we don't have anything else to watch but baseball, says Peter Parker. Yeah. I think it's getting to that point where it's like, what am I supposed to do with my time? If you don't want to go out and spend money, you want to stay home, you got to watch something. So that's it. But I've been watching a lot of basketball for sure. I've been watching a lot of basketball. Hopefully the Warriors can put yesterday's disgusting loss in the rearview mirror. Oh my God. Did you guys watch that Warriors game last night? I can't believe it, man. Harrison Barnes. I wish he would have been shooting like that in 2016. Unbelievable. I don't know. I'm still irritated about that. My man 49ers Red Zone says Ben-Hur puts me to sleep. There it is. So that's pretty much it for today. I wanted to keep it short and simple. Just go over a few draft topics here and there. I haven't been live in a few days, so it's always good to pop in and check how everybody's doing. You guys have a good rest of your day. You know the vibes. Go Niners. We'll check in with you maybe in a day or two. We'll go over some more things. Hopefully some more big news comes up, but I doubt it. 2 more weeks until the draft. I can't wait. I'm really excited for the NFL draft. So we'll go. We'll see. You guys have a good rest of your day. Go Niners, baby.